did see it, she left here for half an hour more, I told her to go.
So, yep, I'm filling in. You got Finko,
Here.
Hanson, Nevela,
Here.
Snyder, Hager,
Here.
Stutz,
Here.
Youngs,
Here,
Francis,
Here.
Nardi,
Here.
Kessler,
Here.
Hiller,
Here.
Luchin, Lauer, McNutt.
Here.
Thank you.
acknowledge the meeting was properly noticed and posted, Jay.
And acknowledge that Kristen properly noticed and posted.
Do I need a motion to approve this agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
By Roxanne, you need a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by David. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approved minutes of May 2026, May 26, 2026 as presented. Everybody look at them. Anybody have any changes? I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Pat,
I'll second it.
seconded by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any public comment? Okay, go right ahead. State your name.
Hi, my name is Mike Randall. I wanted to stop the county board meeting. I've been at some of these before, mainly the law enforcement committee meetings. I'm currently your chief deputy, but I'm here today as a candidate for Iron County Sheriff. I worked with a lot of the board members over the past years that were on the board. There's some new people. I've met Gary before. But I just want to say I appreciate your support in August 11th primary, and as sheriff, I'd always be willing to work with the county board. I know it's a big job as sheriff to navigate the budget and personnel issues and stuff that I've been doing for a while with Paul. So after the meeting, if anybody wants to talk, I'll stick around.
Thank you. You guys have any public comment? I do. Okay, go ahead, Mr. McNutt.
I don't know if everybody's aware of the dog incident in Mercer. 2 dogs at Kelly Cohady tore up pretty bad. And the sheriff's department was called. They basically just filed a report under Wisconsin statute. The dog should have been impounded by the sheriff's department and held for 10 days to be sure that they don't have rabies. And I guess I'm not complaining. I'm just here to make it aware that this is something that I'm sure doesn't happen very often, but it's something that we should make sure that we're aware of.
I didn't think I was aware of that. I was not aware of that.
Any word on how she's doing?
And yeah, she's getting better. She was pretty messed up. I mean, they're in the face and die, and
I saw her Friday, she was in good spirits.
yeah, she's been in good spirits since it all happened. But I asked Roxanne to help me because I don't know what the laws are. Wisconsin has a pretty strict dog bite rule. So if that's something you think you might want to see, I have it, and I can certainly forward it on to everybody.
Probably have a leash law too, don't they?
I didn't really get into it, but I'm not sure there is a leash law.
Yeah,
If there is, I'm a violator.
we have a leash law.
I don't know how it works on the county, I'll be honest.
You fall under the county ordinances, not that.
Well, the county could have a leash law, but the state, as far as the state is concerned, there is, like, the dog bites a person, then the person that owns that dog is responsible for pretty much everything. You can feel free.
Well, maybe Deputy
I
Rand.
can comment on that. I didn't handle the case, but I've done the Wisconsin Humane Officer training, so I'm familiar with it. What it is, I believe they found proof of vaccination from the owner. So that's the case. If the dog is vaccinated, it's a 10-day at-home quarantine, and then actually runs through the Iron County Health Department, where they bring the dog to the vet in 3 visits within 10 days to check the status of rabies. Even if the dog's vaccinated, you could still have rabies. Big deal. The issue is a lot of times these always happen on the weekend. A lot of people are visitors. So it's that day or two of not having access to the vet records. I did actually talk to Kelly's daughter about it on Saturday. It could happen on Friday or Saturday. Guess they're friends with the neighbor or whatever, and kind of the route they were going to take with as the victim as far as that. Damages, so that would be technically maybe a civil thing, but I don't know if the deputy issued a dog at large ticket. I know for a vicious dog, it's got to be 2 bites within 1 calendar year for the judge to authorize to put a dog down under state statute. So it sounds like the dog owners, maybe the husband's deceased and she was going to look to put the dogs down. The issue is you can't put them down right away and bury them because they got to go through the 4D process. Rabies is like 99.9% deadly in humans. It's really bad. So that's what the big ordeal is. What we kind of have in place, if we can't get vaccination records and it's an issue, is to impound the dogs at Hope. And as of a couple of years ago, Candy Harmar was willing to go and see the dogs at the Hope Animal Shelter because we don't have any vets in the area that actually will impound dogs for that. So, kind of behind the times up here with not having any vets that would actually care for dogs overnight to do a quarantine. In-home quarantine is separating from any other dogs and animals and breaking alongside bathroom breaks.
Hope she gets better. Yeah.
Give a doctor in Mercer, so that's good now.
Any more public comment? If there is none, communications, I don't know if Chris did that or not.
She did not.
Good. Okay, committee and chairman's report. Start with Gary. Got anything, Gary? Okay. Tanner.
Yeah, we'll start with forestry. We had a meeting on June 10th. Stumpage is currently $778,497.04. Last year was $791,569.43. We approved the road use permit to Stephanie and Mitchell McKilla, number 16 on your agenda. I'll run over some highlights. There's 7 logging crews working on the Iron County Forest. Spring timber sales, 17 sales were offered, 12 were sold for 1,157 acres. Estimated sale value, $656,654.54. Campgrounds were all open and full or nearly full for Memorial Day weekend. At the harbor, there's 1 open slip for this season, plus 4 sailboat slips due to a shallow water channel. Memorial Day ATV rally had thousands of machines on our trails. Only 1 damage report where a UTV crashed into a bridge, railing destroying 40 feet of railing. And the 2026 funding season ends today, and additional maintenance will continue after July 1st. That's all I have for forestry. Today we had a Veteran Service Commission meeting. And Gerard, he completed, I think we talked about it at the last meeting, completed all required training, and he's been accredited through the Wisconsin Department of Veteran Affairs. He's been going to the Hurley meal site, Saxon meal site, Mercer meal site, Iron Belt meal site, Community Connections Carnival, met with Human Services to provide an overview of veteran services and discuss collaboration opportunities. He continues his weekly office hours in Mercer every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. He successfully applied for and received the Wisconsin Department of Veteran Affairs grant totaling $12,300. Since he took over on January 19th, he's already had 251 veteran contacts. 9 were VA compensation claims, 3 pension claims, 4 travel pay applications, 7 funeral benefit claims, 13 D14 requests. 5 requests for general veteran service information, 3 Wisconsin veteran property tax credit application, and 7 applications for health benefits. And then he gave some stats. So the veteran population for Iron County is roughly 580 to 590 veterans, and that percentage with the adult population is 11.9%, which makes it in the top 3 for highest percentages of veterans in Wisconsin per county. Another cool thing he did, we have 188 Vietnam era veterans in Iron County. We have 65 post 9/11 veterans, 64 Gulf War veterans. That is it for veteran services. Anyone has any questions?
Oh, that's very good. We're a small county, and that was part of it, we're a small county when we send our best.
12% veterans, I thought that was a surprising number.
Thank you, Tanner. Roxanne, what you got?
All right, we had a UW Extension 4-H meeting on the 9th of June. I see we have the packet here tonight. Want to give an item for discussing and accepting UW Extension 2025 report. And as far as budget, everything is going well on budget for 4-H and Extension, as it usually is. They've got a lot of youth development and 4-H type of stuff going on in the summertime, so they have camps, all sorts of things. So look for those events out in the media, because they've got the summer outpost camp. They've got several different day camps, lots of 4-H stuff coming up with the fair. So there'll be a number of different things as the summer continues. Then they've also got a number of community development initiatives. That's Joe Miller. So he's doing over grant-funded activities. Finally, they have 2 interns for the summer. That's pretty typical for them. One really returned from last year again. And then they also have an AmeriCorps volunteer helping them out this summer. So lots of exciting stuff going on in Extension and 4-H.
You got there, David, you got anything?
Just, and quite a few meetings, actually, forestry meeting, very interesting, learning a lot. Highway department, learning a lot. Basically, I'm all ears right now. I'm just trying to figure out what's what, when to talk and when not to talk.
Okay. How about you, Steve?
Nothing that
What you got, bud?
We had our zoning meeting, and we're up on our permits, about 50-some permits ahead already this summer. It's looking really good for us. And we had a hearing same time on what was brought up already a month and a half or 2 months ago when we had voted on boathouse roofs. So we simply listened to the people, and we went with the ruling we had with the old board members, and we stuck with that. Rather than go through it again. Airport, doing real good. We were right on the bank of making the connection with bigger money. And second, third, and fourth, there will be skydiving out at the airport. Exhibition. And then on the 29th, we have Tri-County Rescue going to have a drill outfit for case of a plane crash.
I didn't do that up there. Then Pat, how about you, Jeff? You got anything?
Just said the fair's coming along nice.
Yeah, we have some other things up there.
Yeah.
We have one of the fair. I encourage everybody to go there. We have one of the best fairs in the state. You do a really good job. Thank you. What you got, Brandon?
Because Karen's not here, I'll do the Human Services report. So we had a meeting on June 1st. We had a public hearing prior to the regular meeting, but no community members attended. Karen was nominated and voted in as the board chair. I was nominated and voted in as vice chair. Lauren Snyder and Tom Innes resigned from the board, and the board recommended Deb Watts from Mercer to be appointed, and Mr. Young agreed with that. The Human Services Annual Report was approved. And Callie contacted the Wisconsin Counties Association about delays within the court system. With the termination of parental rights has been an ongoing thing for forever. So she's going to continue to meet with them to discuss options and continue working on that as a committee. Callie also shared that Abby Chilson is the new economic support specialist, and Betty Snyder accepted the AEA counselor position and will start June 6th. As far as transportation, the first quarter transportation report was shared. The numbers are down a little bit from previous quarters, but part of that is because we made the switch to BART on January 2nd, so that change has got a few hiccups that have since been worked out. The ADRC and Public Health are working together to plan for a $5,000 mini grant, and the focus will be on emergency preparedness, Purple Tube project, and evidence-based wellness programs. The ADRC received the 2026 farmers market vouchers, but only got 18 coupon books. But this county can request more if they do get used. It's kind of a pain in the butt for people to use them, but Krista's trying to work out some ways around that. All I have.
Right.
An update on the last month. Last month work by Land and Water Conservation Department. Made a plant sale. People are picking up the plants that they purchased. Designing conservation cost share projects, Saxon Harbor, bioretention basins, Long Lake shoreline stabilization project, stream crossing the town of Kimball. Assisted the Highway Department culvert project approval with the DNR and Aaron County zoning. Hosted the Wisconsin Land and Water Conservation Camp for high school students. It's a week-long camp exposing campers to natural resource jobs. Conservation Specialist Molly Russell, she's our new conservation specialist, working with Fraley School for garlic mustard pulp, training LTE staff, rearing beetles for purple loose stripe control. Say that 5 times real fast. European marsh thistle, wild parsnip, and garlic mustard control work. I know they're not the same thing, but I get hungry when I hear them. I help plant bioretention basins at Saxon Harbor.
When we say to the guy, they like him.
You know what? That was the only thing I didn't hear about.
Yes, he did. I heard him. Everybody loves him. He helps them. He talks to them. Everybody loves him.
Where did you call last guy?
No, where did he go? Tell me. Where did he go?
I just heard a rumor.
Thank you, right? Big up, so.
Not much on, same as Gail, listening, learning, forestry, trying to hook up with Joe Miller on that, travel Wisconsin.
Yes.
Situation thing, we're playing, email tag right now. But, yeah.
You got Joel.
Northwest Regional Planning Commission meeting, we had an update from Bill Johnson, the president of Johnson Timber. They're going forward with this biomass diesel synthetic jet fuel project that they're going to put up in the Hayward area. We're looking at like 900,000 tons of timber products per year. It'll be a boost to our timber industry. It'll put it back to what it used to be with all the mills we're opening. I have his card for you, Eric, and he wants to get in touch with you. We'll make a presentation to the forestry committee and eventually to the whole board if you like.
Exciting. Jamie.
Yes, sir. Karen is not here, as Brandon said, so she forwarded me some notes from the health department meeting. Murph and I were both there. Board of Health met on June 2nd. Karen was elected as chair. And the board supported to increasing reimbursement rates for our birth and retreat providers. Those rates have not been adjusted since 2013. The main focus was the need to remain competitive to retain quality service providers. We also reviewed the DATCAP inspection program finances, which continue to be managed through a dedicated non-lapsing account. And then under the public health updates, This included the reopening of the Silver Street Motel, so they had passed all their inspection reports and fire inspection reports. And she updated us with that, with the new ownership there, and then we're continuing to monitor Weber Lake. There was a little bit of a sewage contamination spill, but that got taken care of in coordination with DNR and place. We're monitoring that ongoing. The department also reported that expenditures are 29% of the budget through April. That's good so far, still early though. And then they continue to work with the opioid prevention, work with the community partners, such as the health department and the sheriff's department, did projects such as prevention strategies. So, oh, and Melissa had finished her master's degree in public health. So she was here, I was going to recognize her, but.
Pretty sure whatever they can do in there, Sunday, Jack, you drink the water.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
That was a February issue.
Oh, it's February issue. Yeah, this is reported on.
Extra monitoring all summer.
Yeah, it's.
Lives in the sewage.
Just.
So that was it for health. We had our finance meeting. So I'll just give a quick summary. I don't want to. Revenues are tracking well and expenses are under control. Our cash balances continue to improve. I think the main 4 points roughly is that forestry revenues are ahead of last year, although it's early. But if trends continue, we should be mainly, well, hopefully 100,000 above, hundreds of thousands above average. Right? Yeah. Placement costs are 59,000 to date compared to 410,000 for the annual budget for 2026. So that's really good this year. Our cash balances are increased by 345,000 from April. Our general fund has a healthy balance right now with revenues 50% of budget and expenses 36% of budget. It's good so far for me. Again, it's early. And in addition to all that, the administration, Bree, Kurt, they continue to work part-time and volunteer hours towards eliminating audit materials and weaknesses such as reconciling balance sheet accounts, writing up unsupported balances, and financial statement preparation. This more than likely and will hopefully we'll see a major reduction in future audit costs. Looking at keeping our LGIP account, that's a funding vehicle that will reduce a lot of our risk and increase our percentage for interest rates. Overall, our revenue is meeting or exceeding expectations. Expenses are well controlled. Again, we'll continue to keep monitoring that as the year goes forward. Okay.
Yeah, I got, no one took all papers for the coroner. So in November, if no one writes it in, we're gonna have to look at it. We have to wait, somebody could get written in, we don't know. We can't do anything but just keep it on there because it's gonna happen. Paul Muller resigned in Ward 1 last month. I asked a few people, I did not fill it yet. A lot of them say they want to, I'm looking for the right person, they got time. Like Joe said, we need somebody with time. I got to Ward 1 here. If you know anybody in Ward 1 that would like it, let me know. I'm gonna ask a few more people. If I can't find anybody, I'll put it in the paper and want to be a supervisor. Must have tough skin. Take some abuse every now and then. Somebody will bite it. We all did. Yeah. I'll do it, yeah. Okay. I did appoint Jim Sari to the Transportation Coordinating Committee to replace Tom Ennis. And I'm still looking for somebody on the aging unit coming on Saxon. I asked Diana Norman, but she said she's too old. I'll figure that out. We'll figure somebody out. I went to the Wisconsin County Association District meeting in Hayward. There was lots of talk about data centers and wind turbines and solar fires. At our land and zoning meeting, we are gonna have a public thing about data centers, maybe put a year on it so we can study them. We're not against it. We are not against any economic development, but we just want to make sure that we do it right. And when I was talking to them, some people, some of the counties said they had no problems. Others said, hey, you gotta watch it. So zoning committee is gonna have a public hearing. And we just might see what other counties do.
They're having we talked about this, they're having a.
Yeah, what is that? Yeah, that
July-
UW extension.
So it's July 27th,
Here's one.
6 PM. I'm going from 6 to 8 in Ashland County. We're gonna have a kind of a public forum with a person who specializes in AV, slips me at the moment. Anyway, it's a gentleman from the UW extension who understands data centers, and he's gonna be speaking, and they're gonna be talking and taking questions. So I think that'd be valuable if anybody's interested. I can get you information. I think it's at the Ashland County Courthouse on Monday, the July 27th at 6 p.m. Well, there's another one the next day at 1:30 p.m. in Bayfield. So they're doing, this is all kind of a joint. That's right. Yep, that's where it is. You're right. That's what it was. I thought it was maybe that one. The one on Tuesday, or was that the one Monday night, or both? Maybe it's both.
But you two that are writing for the paper, you make sure that you write down that we are not against them. Just want to make sure we do it right.
Are they interested? Are they?
No,
talking
just in
about
case,
Iron County?
no, nobody is, but.
No, they're not, yeah, this is just open
Just trying to
forum,
be-
discuss ideas.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm just asking.
Because somebody could come here tomorrow and say, you
I
know,
want to open one.
then we don't have nothing.
I don't think we have any structure yet for it.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then it was held in Hayward, all 10 of the county chairs were there. The offices for child support are coming along. Had to get Sawyer some help. It's on the agenda. Bill had a surgery. He couldn't finish it. Cherry's been helping for 10, 20 hours. Economic development, Adam Tutt and Sarah Town are the co-chairs. For sure, they both wanted to take it up on it. The economic development committee is pretty good. They help each other out. So they both want to do that. And then Opie on the economic development, Julie Doucette was talking to a local business owner, and they worked out a deal where if you know anybody, you could have a space to rent for a year, rent free. Wow. If you have an idea of something that you ever wanted to start a business, and then here's your chance. I mean, you got rent free for a year to see if it works or not. The rep programs, both of them are going good. The one at Early is a little bit farther than the one in Mercy because they didn't start right away. And the last thing too is Wisconsin County Association's having their annual meeting September what?
I don't even know the dates, to tell you the truth.
Okay, but you must have got it in your county book.
It's worth going.
It is. Any of you that are on this county board for the first time, it costs us nothing.
Yep. we go
You get to
through.
get the
So,
meals.
Essentially,
everything.
there's probably 3 or 4 sessions a day, but there's 3 different sessions during each session. So you can pick and choose what you want to go to, what you want to learn about with respect to county government, with respect to being county board supervisor, with respect to county issues and problems statewide. The presentations are made by county members, so they're very people into
My
what's going
people
on.
used to go, we went last year.
It was fantastic.
We went one way. We didn't go to the same ones. You went to ones, I went to the other
Yep.
ones. And then at night when you're having dinner and stuff, you're meeting National County, you're meeting Douglas County, Bayfield County, you're meeting these, you're making connections. I suggest you go, you went, didn't you?
I did. It's September 20th through 22nd of this fall. It's at the Kalahari in Sauk County. So if
So
you
call
want
out
to
there
go to
and
the
tell
Dells,
them, I suggest you go, me and him, when he's going.
I haven't
We
been
should have
going.
1 or 2 more new ones. It doesn't cost us nothing.
especially if you're new.
If you're new, go.
It's the date is September 20th through 22nd.
Starts on a Sunday night. There's some meetings on, there's like one or two meetings on Sunday
It's
night.
all in one big conference center. You just kind of pick which sessions you
You
want
can
to go
take your
to.
wives, they got things for your wives, your.
They have night
thing to do.
events, lots of.
The food was good.
Yeah,
Just great.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. I suggest you guys go.
good to make connections. challenges with other people in neighboring counties. And
Yeah.
learn a lot.
They have the same problems we do.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yeah.
You would take the wives off on tours and entertain them all day long.
And the husbands, yeah.
They got a call though to get in the Kalahari, yeah,
If the woman was in.
but I suggest you guys do go. I think it is worth it.
Can I just say something?
You go right ahead and say something.
So I just want to say thank you for those who did attend. I pushed for this
Yes, you did.
probably 10 years ago at a meeting down in Mercer. And I said, as a taxpayer, my expectation is that you're representing this county and sometimes you have to step out of the borders of this county to do so. And granted, everybody can't go every year, but I strongly believe that to make changes, you have to network outside of this county. You have to talk to people down in Madison and
Yes.
other counties, so. And I don't know, do they still do Superior Days?
No.
Okay. Because that was another suggestion I made. So
It was a good thing.
as a taxpayer, I say thank you, and yes, please go.
Yeah. Maybe lost money on JEA. He ate so much, I don't think I couldn't eat it.
The potato bar was awesome the year I went. They had martini glasses and then they put like mashed potatoes in it and all these different layers of all these.
And I think Karen went.
Yeah, Karen went the same year I
And,
went. And Rick went.
Rick both
the year
went.
that I went, yeah. We were all new, so it's really good when you go new and you, couple of your new ones go together, you'll get to know each other a lot better.
Another
too.
thing I'm gonna do for you is when it settles down, I'm gonna have them come up here, Wisconsin County, I'm gonna have Andy
Yeah.
Phillips, Sarah Dickinson, they came here once for us, the first time they ever been here. I'm gonna have them come back and state, it's good to know.
Yeah, and review that same kind of stuff when we were new, that they reviewed, like what the board responsibilities are, kind of thing.
They actually did it in the boardroom 2 months ago. I should forward the link. I don't know, maybe, did I? Is everybody on the board?
Maybe.
I think you did.
Don't the new board members still have to go through cows?
I don't know.
I had to go through cows when I started.
Yeah.
I forget what cows stands for, but it's an acronym, because we're Wisconsin, we have cows. Something about.
Actually, what the state does is,
New county board member training, basically. And it's several, I think it's 2 days or something of training, several hours of training to try to introduce you to what your role is as a county supervisor, which, again, was good to know. We're not just sitting here, you know,
Yeah.
listening for 1 hour every month.
You
We're
know,
way more than
just
that.
call them up and update him. That's all I got. What you got?
I got a couple things. RT Vision's running smoothly in highway and forestry. This is gonna probably be the last time I bring this up, because it's, I would consider it closed unless something comes up. IT strategic plan implementation, Danny's continues to work on this. Just a reminder, phase 1, the health department in 2027. Danny's working on the migration procedures. Data audit and cleanup is going to be the first step in late 2026. So essentially, anybody who, you know, if you save the cat video in one of your files, it's okay if it's on a server, but we obviously don't want to put cat videos in the cloud because we have to pay for data. So, you know, we're just basically going to clean up, and more, I joke about cat videos, but it's more about, you know, if you have 17 copies of the same file and you've saved iterations. So we're going to do a data cleanup and audit in late 2026 with the health department before we move them into the cloud. Process improvement, time card payroll. So we have a implementation kickoff call with ADP in the coming week. They didn't schedule it yet. I thought it was going to be late this week, but when they schedule that, I'll be forwarding it to some of well, I'm going to find out exactly what they want to do with the opening call, but we signed with ADP. They're still looking at about a 2 to 3 month implementation process. So it'll take a few months.
What's good about that is too, we didn't know this, but Bree knows it.
Yeah, Bree knows the system.
Bree knows the system. We didn't even know she knew it.
Yep, so that's helpful. I got to play in the sandbox. They gave me a kind of a sandbox. UKG didn't have a sandbox. And again, just a reminder, ADP was $2,000 cheaper. Both systems were really, really good. ADP is going to offer, they both offer all of the human resource tools for us. They offer the employee videos. They offer the full time card and payroll modules. So it's going to take our payroll from, Kathy just got done with payroll today. She worked on it all day yesterday and part of the day today, and that's gonna turn that into a push of the button process. But beyond that, it's got accountability, it's got manager involvement in approving time cards. It's got a lot of features. So, either system would have been a win, but basically the ADP system was $2,000 a year cheaper. So we'll be implementing that over the coming months. Murph told me not to say I want to have it started by October 1st, but I'd like to have it started by quarter October 1st. So that's my goal. But again, it may take a little longer. We'll see. Process improvement AP flow. We have a US Bank P card implementation call, kickoff call tomorrow, Thursday. That's basically just to kind of get the ball rolling. We're going to start with IT and the clerk's office, the health department. We're going to pilot the project and child support. So we're going to pilot the project with those 4 departments or areas to try to just get the pilot completed. And mainly it's just to make sure everything works, see how the system operates and functions, see how we can streamline and how we can make sure we're uploading invoices, and the invoices then upload into Workhorse as well, so they're there for audit. We'll work on the implementation plan for both time card payroll and the AP flow. Hopefully we can get AP flow should go quick, so that we don't have 2 implementations going at the same time, because it's always, implementations take a lot of effort. And I'll be reporting out on those implementations in the coming months and how things are going. Budget finance. So I've updated the budget model, or I created a new budget model. I'm still working on it. It's going to be a year-on-year model. We'll be able to use it every year. It automates the data download from Workhorse, and then it will automate the data upload back into Workhorse. I've worked with a handful of departments to look at what they use. So I'm not trying to recreate the wheel for them. They can use the same model they've been working. Eric's got a perfect example. He uses a model every single year with a different tab. The new model that I pulled out of Workhorse will tie in with Eric's model and then send it back to my budget model in Workhorse without any issue. So there's no entering data from one spreadsheet to another and then into Workhorse by hand. It's all going to happen automatically. So that's good. Just a note on timelines. So capital, I'm still working on the capital expenditure budgets. I'm going to build the same model. It's a lot quicker and easier. It's very simple, but there's a 5-year CapEx budget. Those are going to be due at the end of July, and the department specific budgets, we're going to look to hopefully have them done by August 14th. That's a Friday. That'll give us time to put the full budget together in August and September, October, and then pass it in October, November. Wage structure. So the 2027 wage model is built. I don't know, are we talking much about wages tonight? No? Okay. So the goal is to address wage compression. Obviously, we've had wage compression in the county, so we're going to continue to address that. This model helps to review and look at the wage compression and to see it. Wage compression, especially with reference to length of service. So one thing we didn't take into account last year was length of service. Basically, last year, Kurt worked on the wage model, as you know, and what he did is try to bring everybody up that was below 90% up to 90% of control point. So again, control point is 100% of your wage. We have a scale that I kind of talked a little bit about this, but the scale goes from 90%. If you start and you have very little experience, you start at 90%, you go up to 112%. That's your max. So a lot of our folks were at 89, 88%. You've still got a lot of people at the low 90 to 95% of their control point, and some who have been here 20 years. So my model looks at that, it shows the numbers, and it helps to address that. We're going to have to go through that probably next month and come up with a strategy. The strategy is going to really be up to the board. How do you guys want to address the wage model? We're currently looking at about a 2.5% overall increase in wages, but it may be higher. Again, it's this price index numbers have not gotten better in the last few months. If you want to remain competitive as a county, we've really got to follow price index numbers. So we're going to get a price index, hopefully August, September, the final price index numbers, and see what those come in at. And then, of course, board approval for the wages. And then finally, HR benefits update. I handed out this tonight. This is everybody should have a copy of this. We can go through it. I'm happy to walk through it with you not tonight, but I'm happy to walk through this with you on the side. But basically, this is, just to go through it real quick, it's the wage benefit questionnaire we sent out to everybody in the county. You can see we had 50 total responses. That's the number, yellow number on top. So the gray on the left side are the questions. So pick your age range, what health insurance option did you select? And we chose those two questions in the beginning because if you look on the right, there's breakdown by category with number and percent. So the number of single, just to give you a quick look at it, number of single people under the age of 30 is 3, which is 6%. So as you go down, the whole chart works the same way. So you can see how people answered the question relative to their age and relative to their which benefit choice they took, which health insurance option they took. I'm going to be sending this out to everybody in the county, the final numbers, and our group is going to get together. We have an insurance group, a benefits group that's going to get together and discuss these numbers. We met with Cottingham and Butler the other day to try to work on looking at what health insurance options we can offer to lower potential premiums, to save the county money, to save the employees money, to offer better options, whatever. So anyway, that's my report.
This benefit survey just came out of the department head meeting. A lot of stuff comes out of the department head meeting. We're having one tomorrow too. A lot of the stuff the employees are bringing to me. We're doing. Okay. Emergency management to give department overview. Steve, give us your best 15 minutes, bud. I'm gonna have somebody come here once a month, every one of these departments, because if you ain't on these committees, you don't know what's going on, and sometimes you might have to vote on something. So I want you all to know what they do. Go ahead. He's the guinea pig.
Can you
He's the
send me
first
your
one up.
notes too, for Kristen?
Yeah,
All right,
I'll send a transcript on this.
I appreciate it.
Okay, for those who don't know me, my name is Stacy Offset. I've been your emergency management director and 911 coordinator for the last 18 years. As you know, one of the primary duties is to mitigate disasters through proactive planning and action. I'm responsible as EM to follow Wisconsin state statute, which includes countywide disaster preparedness, mitigation, response, recovery initiatives. This involves comprehensive planning, targeting, training and outreach efforts, and a strong focus on all hazard preparedness. I strive to work closely with all county departments and agencies, community organizations, public and private partners for a whole community approach to preparedness. Some of my key responsibilities work to help a resilient community network by building a relationship, as I said, with business leaders, community organizations, health department, human services, zoning, highway, forestry, school districts, law enforcement, EMS, fire departments, and neighboring emergency management agencies. Work on community outreach initiatives such as public awareness for severe weather incidents, fire danger, health and safety issues for personal preparedness for individuals within the county, among other things. I coordinate the county training and exercise planning through a state initiative, which is the integrated preparedness planning. And we meet periodically. I bring it up at the department head meetings to help set where we want to go with that. I strive to be in the agenda by applying leading practices in emergency management by engaging with FEMA, Wisconsin Emergency Management, Wisconsin Emergency Management Association, International Emergency Management Association, State Fire Chiefs Association, and local networks through other emergency management. I work with all county partners to assess the county's risk by identifying potential hazards through risk assessment and engaging with at-risk communities with the emphasis on the underserved and under-resourced parts of our communities. Facilitate the county hazard mitigation team to plan, execute, and sustain local mitigation strategies. Pursue writing and managing grants and other funding opportunities for the emergency management. Focus on preparedness, disaster mitigation, and resilience within the county. I
collaborate with public safety agencies to prevent, and prepare, and respond and recover for incidents or events that may affect the county, such as weather-related disasters, hazmat incidents, search and rescue, fire coordination for large events, civil unrest, active shooter incidents, and there's just some examples of them. Ensure compliance with federal, state, and local emergency management regulations and initiatives by maintaining up-to-date knowledge and best practices. I develop and maintain the county's emergency management program, policies, procedures, and perform the duties of both EM and office manager for the department. There are two major grants that outline the required guidance for our solid emergency management program. One is the EMPG, which is the Emergency Management Planning Grant, and the EPCRA, which is the Emergency Preparedness Community Right to Know Act grant. The EMPG sets my plan of work for each year. My plan of work consists of updating and revising the county emergency operations plan, emergency preparedness and outreach, coordinating countywide integrated emergency preparedness planning and exercising programs, among other tasks. The EPCRA grant is related, the EPCRA grant is primarily related to hazmat. I perform the duties of the hazmat coordinator for the county and direct the local emergency planning committee. I conduct outreach, complete an annual update to the countywide hazardous strategic plan, set up annual hazmat operation training for all the fire departments, also respond to incidents and complete necessary paperwork. As a subsection of the EPCRA grant, apply for the annual hazmat equipment and computer grant each year. This funding is used to purchase hazmat response equipment for the county fire departments and then also the Ashland Fire Department. The equipment that Ashland receives, they get about half the grant each year, and the grant is in lieu of payment for them to be our primary response hazmat team. As a 911 coordinator, I write and manage the 911 grants for the dispatch center, for updating the 911 system and keeping up with current standards and mandates. When I was hired, I was asked to bring 911 to Lyon County. At the time, we were one of 3 counties that did not provide 911 service. Currently, we have enhanced 911 service with all the capabilities of any other county in the state. A major part of 911 is acquiring and keeping accurate address data for the mapping. I work with Neil Martinko in the GIS office with managing the 911 Master Street Addressing Guide database. Also, for any new address applications or corrections that need to be made, I notify the applicant or the individual that has to have an address corrected. And then I order the signs and install them for the county. And also maintain the master spreadsheet by adding and subtracting or documenting the corrections in that spreadsheet. And then we're all going in accordance with the county addressing ordinance. As I stated, major components of my position are preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation, weather-related events, cybersecurity, civil unrest, school security, sheltering, among other issues. Over the years, I've worked on 3 major FEMA declarations and storm events, along with approximately 14 disaster fund and Wisconsin DOT events. I work with the county departments and the affected municipalities during these disasters by working with them to get damage assessments and data collection. I initiate the damage funding paperwork to submit to the state, and then I assist with the continued documentation and the closeout process for the communities to get their funding. I've worked with the county departments and municipalities to bring millions of dollars back into this county over the years. Following the record-breaking November snowstorm that we had last fall. I assisted with all 12 municipalities with the disaster fund applications and documentation to recover over $300,000 along with the spring flooding, I'm currently assisting 7 municipalities with approximately $450,000 in damages. The damages usually are reimbursed back to the municipalities at a 70-30%. And talk to people in Michigan, they get nothing. Or at least the state of Wisconsin offers that. And one of my duties to help facilitate the paperwork and get funding back to the municipalities during disasters. During the response phase of a large event, when I'm notified of an incident and determine the severity, I contact the county board chair with a briefing of the situation and to appoint someone either contact for possible financial approval if needed. And I work with the municipalities, departments, and local and state and federal agencies, nonprofit organizations, local utilities, businesses, industry leaders to establish an emergency operation center, and in the process to coordinate tasks such as damage assessments of roads, critical infrastructure, private homes, businesses, along with possible evacuation and sheltering, mass notification messaging, transportation needs, such as detouring of traffic, collection and donation, documentation of numbers of affected people, their location, and what they may have, the location and what they may need, such as food, water, medications, and medical needs. In this process, as the emergency manager, I work with the emergency incident commander and joint command staff to establish who will fill the roles of coordinating operations, logistics, resource management, staging, public information, in the process of opening up the emergency operations center. During the flooding of the harbor in 2016, I developed a list of tasks and duties that needed to be completed. And immediately following, met with all the county departments and agencies and sat down and stuffed the task list, and everybody went out and did everything flawlessly. It worked awesome. I commend all the department heads that were involved in that. That was to ensure the safety and welfare of the people that were impacted and for the staff of the people that were involved. I work alongside the sheriff during many events by conducting resource acquisitions and coordination, planning, and managing along with logistics. We have worked on many incidents over the years with a few lasting multiple days. I also work alongside the fire departments within the county. During most, if not all disaster events that occur, there are 2 main response agencies that are heavily involved: law enforcement and fire departments. Since day one of me being hired for this position, I was instructed by Dennis DeRosa, the county board chair at the time, to be the liaison between the fire departments and the county. This has been maintained throughout the years. Coordinate hazmat, search and rescue, general firefighting training, and exercising for all the departments. I also work with the departments on county-wide mutual aid agreements, tracking each other's equipment. Tracking for each of their equipment lists and during larger scale events to know what resources are available by each department and deploy the assets with specific events. So if Mercer Fire's got something that Houma doesn't have or really doesn't have, I know where to get it in the large events. I've been a member of the Northwood Technical College Fire and EMS Advisory Committees for over 15 years. I'm also a member of and attend the State Fire Chiefs Association meetings to collect information legislative initiatives, information on available grants, funding for statewide health screenings for new firefighters, recruitment and retention programs, and stress debriefing and mental health programs for emergency service personnel, among other things. Another one of my duties, I'm the highway traffic safety coordinator for the county. I chair the quarterly traffic safety meeting, and during that committee usually discusses traffic crash data throughout the county, and any complaints that of any citizens on road issues and speeding, that type of stuff. And we also discuss construction projects within the county. Over the years at VM, I was instrumental in forming the current fire association as is, developing the county hazmat operations team, county drone team, and currently working with the sheriff's department on the task force team. I'd like to finish up by stating that I am a state and FEMA certified county emergency manager director. And over the years, I've developed many solid working relationships in emergency management at the county, state, tribal, and federal levels. Also valuable partnerships through the fire departments, law enforcement, EMS, health departments, and professionals in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota. Any questions?
Do we got any questions for Stacy? I got a couple, I hear them all the time. Okay, Steve, okay, who calls you out?
Depends on, the other day the sheriff had an incident where he called me.
If somebody calls you, you just don't go on your own.
No, I do not self-comply.
Okay, and then one other question I got is perfect timing anyway, because last week you went to the fire association, you wore 3 hats. You got 3 hats, you're the fire association, you're fire chief of Saxton, and you're at, you went to the fire association meeting last week.
Yes.
You flipped the tab, or how did they get divvied up?
Some money came from the fire association, my fire department, and then I think the county basically paid for my gas and the parking and the 2 meals. The room, conference registration and stuff got included up between my fire department and the fire association. Because I was kind of representing all 3. I had a fire association meeting last night. I brought back a lot of good data. One of the things, most of you that are involved with town politics, the state came out with Act 12 a little over a year ago. Year or 2 ago, Act 12 was originally designated for, all the money was earmarked to go for each municipality for emergency services, fire, EMS, and police. At the end of that legislation, it got changed to where they left it into the hands of the municipalities. Most of the municipalities throughout the state did not do the right thing and did set money aside for emergency services. So state legislators are pushing to have that fixed so that the money goes back to the fire departments and the EMS and law enforcement where it belongs. A couple of the other things that I brought back data for the departments is that through the association, there was a grant applied for $1.6 million from the FEMA Saver grant. So any new firefighter that was brought onto the fire department since the end of 2014 can qualify for $3,000 worth of turnout gear for each new member. With one caveat, they have to have a health screening, but through this grant, each fire department can get $400 per health screening for that individual. So technically $3,400 for each member. Brought back information on stress debriefings, mental health issues, just different initiatives and stuff they have for retaining and retention of new firefighters. It has been a major issue throughout the state, throughout the country, getting younger people to volunteer. So I brought back a lot of information. The guys at the Fire Association really like what I brought back. Well, not every fire department can send anybody, send people, you know, to Milwaukee for a few days. So over the years, I've been doing this for multiple years, dividing it up 3 ways. The county has been more than generous to work it that way. Like I said, it does benefit me, but I also bring that data and information back to all 8 fire.
I have 2 fire chiefs in here. Do you guys get that information? I'm just asking, 'cause I got Steve and I got Pat, they're fire chiefs. So you know, when he comes back, he tells me what he learned and stuff.
Right.
Anybody else got anything for?
Like, through our county, there's a small handful of departments that their offices, their positions are state reimbursable. Is your office state reimbursable to a certain percentage?
For emergency management through that EMPG grant, county gets, give or take a couple of dollars, about $25,000. The funding was delayed for last year because of the FEMA deal. I just got notification the other day, the check should be in the mail within the next couple of weeks, and that's the last outstanding grant that you have for last year. What they are going to do with this year's FEMA allocation for the MPG grant, we don't know 100% yet. Because because everything got extended and there was a lapse. So this year it might be a little less. I don't know the particulars from the state. They did get their paperwork from FEMA about a week and a half ago. We're reviewing everything and then trying to figure out how our plan of work is going to be for the remainder of the year. Because our fiscal year ends at January 1st or December 31st.
So that's specific to grants. Right. Okay. Thank you.
The small electric grant and the hazmat grant, no issues with either one. Anything else?
Everybody got anything? Thank you, Stacy. Okay, number 12, discuss the accept the human services 2025 annual report. Need a motion there.
Almost accept the report as presented.
Motion by Joe, second.
I'll support.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Number 13, accept the UW Extension's 2025 annual report. Need your action. Motion by Pat, second by Roxanne. Anybody want to talk about that? It was well written. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It carries. Resolution 2026-4084, adopt Office of Administration. You need a motion? Motion by Jamie, I need a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Roxanne. Okay, so I'm sure everybody wants to discuss this. Okay. I'll start what I got to say, and I know this is I even wrote it down because I got ADD and I usually fly from the hip, but this I couldn't. I had to make sure I got it right. Okay, February 24, the county board opened up the current year budget in response to a cash deficit. The broader picture, the general fund cash declined about $5 million from 2015 to December 2023 after adjusting for a one-time $2.2 million received from Enbridge. In April 2024, the county treasurer told me that without any changes, we had 18 months of cash on hand before the county became insolvent. The board had no choice based on what we knew at the time as to operate if the county was in a financial crisis. Because if the county went insolvent, that would be terrible. It would have been disastrous. In the midst of solving these financial crises, we figured out that we identified some organizational structures that weren't right. We had to address them. We have an $18 million budget. We have 90 employees. We had no formal accounting and operated without a single 4-year degree accounted on the staff. Iron County had no formal human service resource department. Iron County had fallen behind in technology upgrades, all this stuff we know is redundant, but I want you all to know because you weren't here. We had fallen behind on technical upgrades and streamlining certain financial processes, resulting in inefficiencies and financial redundancies. It is crazy for us in the business world not to have an accounting department for an entity the size of Iron County. Prior board authorized the hiring of the county manager and a finance director. Dollars for these positions are in the county budget. But on the other, and I was gonna bring this up too, let's write it in here now, my report. The county should probably move forward and repost the financial director position. Using Bree and Kurt, while it's okay, it's a temporary fix and it's saving us a lot of money. We need a long-term solution. We needed this. We did it last year. We didn't find anybody with a right fit. Full-time finance director is needed for a number of reasons, but one is, we talked about backup. It'd be backup for the accountant. One position, Kathy's. It'd also be a backup in case the county manager leaves. The Office of Administration should include the accounting department, IT, and the HR function. The retitling of, this is the thing that you all got to do. You got to understand is the retitling of Kathy's position from a deputy clerk to an accountant is done merely to reflect her duties. 95% of what Kathy already does is accounting related. There's no statutory clerk duties. It makes little sense to hire a part-time finance director and have Kathy's position still report to the clerk. That would be like hiring a sheriff's deputy and have him report to the highway commissioner. It makes no sense. The retiring of Kathy's position is not a new position. It is simply moving Kathy's payroll dollars from the clerk's office to the Office of Administration. Supervisor changes along with it. By the way, that's exactly what is included in the 26 budget. Kathy's payroll dollars are included in the budget. You know, and the last is, and I'll take some of the hit for this. Somehow by trying to do all this, Kristen, the clerk, took it as an attack on her office, and attack on her office, the money was in there. That's why it looked like that. This came about because of discussions between me and Kristen could have been shaped better. Sometimes the message wasn't perfect in that. From previous board. Some of you that were on the previous board would attest to that, correct? So that's what I want to do, what we want to do. It's all set and ready to do. Kristen, I did talk to her a couple times since last month. Kristen is already doing some of the stuff that I asked her to do, but she has no problem with it. She kind of likes it. So it's up to you, is if you have another idea on how to keep going the way we're going, because we're doing good, I'll listen.
And you said what Kristen doing, is she, for instance, putting the ordinances online?
She put them out, first she's doing the ordinances. Right now she's working on, I want all the county policies in the clerk's office. Not some up in human services, some down in highway. They're all gonna be one thing. She's working on that. Yes, the ordinance thing, some of it got copied, but it's gotta get fixed. It got scanned, but yes, that's a handful of it. There's a.
And then once they do get out there, I think the thing that needs to happen, maybe it's a finance committee thing, is we need to be going through those ordinances because some of them have not been updated since 1993 when the paper document that got scanned is being put out there. So they haven't been looked at or reviewed. It's not a good standard of practice. If you're on any other boards or if you work for a company, you know, you don't update your policies once every 30 years.
Kristen, tomorrow at the department head meeting, some of the things she's got to do. We're gonna have the rest of the department heads help her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can figure it out because, like she said, I never done this. I ain't done it either, but I gotta get done by 27. Now one thing does. So that's where I'm at, but I want to go around the room because I asked you all to look, and I know some of you did make some phone calls. I know some of you, and in the finance, and let me also say in finance, it got passed 3-2, but a couple of them, and I get it. Kristen has every right to have a deputy clerk. But we can do this in the county, it'd be more taxpayer friendly if somebody in this county would pick it up. And I think we could do that. We can hash that out. I wish Kristen was here to tell you, because I know Kristen's like, she's over it. She kind of likes what we got her doing. Well, let's go around this table. Jamie, you start. What do you think?
Well, I probably sound like a broken record myself. I will reiterate everything you said. One of the things, I guess, that since Kurt's been involved, and keep in mind, as I mentioned, he's on a volunteer basis, so it's like we're a temporary bridge.
It's nice.
It's nice, but one of the things that we're getting in finance is a clear audit picture every month that we can actually see where we're at. Like, for example, May. I gave you a report for the end of May. Or we'd meet on the finance committee and we'd approve bills and approve expenditures, and there was no forecast. That's just the truth, but there was no forecast. Nobody had a clue where we were at. We had an idea, but it was done on a legal tab. But neither here nor there, our 2025 or 2026 projections look extremely favorable. Keep going in the direction that we're going. The reason why that we're actually hired for back to execute the hire. We authorized him to start to clear up these weaknesses in audit materials. Exactly what we did. Unheard of for a county this size to not have a financial accounting. Very unorthodox.
You got Joe.
Taking Kathy out of the district, out of the clerk's office, or deputy clerk, the state statutes still say that Kristen can have a deputy clerk, am I right? So we're gonna get a different deputy clerk for Kristen?
No, we can do one of two ways. Kristen can help. She has one. We hold the purse strings. So Kristen's gonna have to say, okay, I want a deputy clerk. How long, if we take all this financial stuff out of the clerk's office, how much do you need a deputy clerk? Basically, she's gonna say when I'm not here. So we can cover that. We think we can cover that.
What exactly are we trying to accomplish? I mean, with this empty chair right here, there's 8 of us on this board. We're not involved in the last 2 years. This is just dropped in our lap now, and we wanted to make a decision. It's a life-changing decision for some people here. I can't be in favor of it unless I understand it clearly.
Okay, what's going on is Kathy got a report to Kristen right now. She's a deputy clerk. So there's meetings on Mondays or Tuesdays with Bree and Kurt and me and him are talking, and they're talking and stuff. Kathy should be in there. Kathy ain't in there. Because how do you know what I'm saying? If you take Kathy out of the clerk's office, put her in a meeting for an hour and then comes back, that's not fair to Kristen. She don't know what's going on. So we're just basically trying to take the money part of it out of the clerk's office, because it has been in so many other counties. Take the money part of it out.
So can I add one more thing that we actually said in the finance meeting? You were present in the finance meeting, so you heard this. Yes, you were sitting right over there. I remember you sitting there. So I think this isn't about Kristen as a person. It's about us as a board and our responsibilities. We have responsibilities for finance, for budget, for the accounting, for the audit. All of these financial things are going on in the county, right?
All I'm asking, Roxanne, is
let me finish.
if we're brief.
Let me finish.
When you asked it,
Could you let me finish,
my
please?
talking. My turn, please.
Okay.
I'm waiting for, I asked a question and I want to know, how long do we have to make this up? I mean, something has to be split right now. Can you get a chance to can you brief us all by something here so we all know what we're supposed to be voting on?
That's what you're voting on.
I don't want a phone call to vote on, because then we're in violation of the walking forum.
Yeah.
I want a room with everyone in the room so we can all talk at the same time. Don't call you and you call him and you call him, and that's a walking forum. If you do.
Do you think that I did that? Is that
No,
what
I'm
you're
not
saying?
saying you did. I'm just saying, I don't want that kind of a meeting. I want a meeting with, we're all in the same room, not a phone call meeting.
We are all in the same.
That's why we're gonna make up our decisions, Roxanne. We're gonna make up decisions when we're all briefed on what we're talking about.
That's why we're talking. Yeah, we're briefing you right now. We're telling you that's why we want to do it.
That's the way I wanna be briefed. I can't vote on something if we're not briefed on it.
Yeah.
Could I finish what I was saying so I can further brief you? Because I have some additional insight because I spent 6 months as a volunteer admin coordinator for the county. And I was part of helping get fewer audit journal entries and getting things set up so that Bree had breadcrumbs to follow and assisted Kurt as well. So I don't think this is about Kristen as a clerk. It's about the county board having responsibility for the finance. By moving it out of the clerk's office, we are making it with our responsibility as county board supervisors. Because Kristen does not report to us. She reports to the electors, any elected official, whether it's our sheriff, whether it's our treasurer, whatever. They essentially report to the voters. So it's about bringing the finances and the budget and those positions out of the clerk's office, putting them into an office of administration under the control of the board.
I'm sure the clerk doesn't respond to that report to the board.
No, she doesn't. Yeah, Sandy Phillips.
I know the treasurer does, the registered deeds don't.
You're right. They're all elected officials. They report to the electors. And they serve at the pleasure of the electors, not at us. And the sheriff is a totally different anomaly. It takes the governor.
Okay, that's
They're elected officials.
Sorry, no, for-
The reason we want to take Kathy out of there is because she's got to be a part of the financial part of it, which she does now. She's doing it right now. You got to say, Bill, say something.
I do have a few questions. When you're saying take it out of the clerk's office, you're talking the funding.
No, not the funding. We're talking about taking
The
out.
duties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not away from the clerk.
Are we increasing funding? These people have different grades now.
Yeah. If it so happens, we checked with Connie and Butler, yeah, Kathy would be a higher grade.
She'd be getting a raise.
Yeah.
And then we could possibly still have to hire a deputy clerk then, or
Well,
no?
no, well, it all depends on Kristen. Kristen can say, yeah, Murph, if statutorily I want one, I'm gonna say to Kristen, how many hours do you need it? You don't need a full-time clerk.
But we have to do that.
No, if she says no, Murph, we can cover it, maybe if I could get the treasurer, deputy, or the zoning deputy, or Kathy do it. Can Kathy cover me? It's basically when she's not here.
He doesn't know.
Yeah. But she don't have to take Kathy. If we take Kathy on there, she can say, no, I want my own. I say to her, how many hours do you need it? Kristen's gonna say when I'm gone, which comes out to roughly what, 240, maybe 300 hours. You know, say she's gone.
If she says she wants, because we have to
We have to,
supply her with.
yeah.
We could have 10 deputy clerks, to be honest. I mean, as long as you're cross-trained and understand how
Of
to.
course, as a deputy clerk.
Yeah.
She hired the union, nothing about it.
Right.
She hired her to do this.
Yeah. Same thing with Kristen.
So you could have
But Kathy's doing it now.
multiple.
Yeah.
deputies.
Kathy's your deputy, but if we take that out of that office, because Kathy's doing 95% of the payroll, all that stuff. We're taking that out. Kathy has very little bit of statutory duties as the deputy clerk.
5923, the statutory duties for the clerk in the county are pretty limited. There's marriage licenses and
Official licenses,
dog hunting.
dogs, say stuff like that. Because anybody could do it.
timber.
We're talking about a lot of money here.
No.
She wants that.
The state's
Oh, yeah.
definition, though, of the county clerk, the state's definition does include county finances.
It's different. It cuts, they verify and cut the checks. They have to verify the checks that go out of the office.
Still paying
No,
that.
that's written into the state statute. So every,
That'll continue.
yeah, every county that even has, so most counties have an office of administration, most counties have an accountant type person that does a lot of the accounting, but when the checks are cut, they're verified through the clerk's office in every county, half of the 943 states, yep.
Right.
say it has never been said or say it differently. Obviously, we've had a kind of a patchwork accounting department.
A very well qualified.
And that can't continue. It seems like it's really important. And so is the clerk's position, but it seems like this is a course, this is a change needs to happen now. Whereas the clerk's position, if we had to adjust, as you said, we can adjust that. That might be easier to adjust down the road than this right here. Bring ourselves, modernize ourselves the way businesses are run, counties are run. I benefit from sitting in some of the meetings.
Brandon.
Well, I was one of the no votes on the finance committee, and that's for a couple of reasons. The first is that there was very little consultation with Kristen as part of this process. So she felt very disenfranchised by the whole process. You were basically taking someone out of her office, giving her more work, and not compensating her in any way with any help to get that done. The second is that I feel that we absolutely need to start doing more duplication services, meaning there has to be multiple people that can do each job, so that if someone's not here, or someone leaves, or someone ends up on a medical, or someone ends up quitting, or whatever the reason is, that we don't have someone that can come in and help in that position temporarily until we can get that resolved. Right now, Kathy does that for the clerk. Taking her out of that office removes that person, so that doesn't happen. I think we need more of that, not less of it, especially when we're talking about just far away out of a financial hole. And to have a single person to do each job to me is overly expensive and unneeded. I think that whether we give people more duties and pay them a little bit more, it's way cheaper than having another employee to do one particular job. So those are the reasons that I voted against it. I've not talked to Kristen since you have her, but I still am of the opinion that she needs help, and that you have given her more duties, but yet taken someone out of her office and no one to take her place when she's not there, or when she gets overwhelmed and needs a hand. I think that's the case across many of the offices in this building. I think that needs to be looked at, and that was the reason that I voted no.
Jeff.
You already answered my question, but the concern is that there's going to be another employee hired to cover her. And it's going to start off part-time, it's going to have a full-time.
Well, we just, yeah, and there's some, we can work through this, I think, the options of what we got. If we don't need somebody in a full part-time job, I don't think so. So, we'll see. Matt, what do you say?
I don't know, I thought everything was going good in the office there, but all of a sudden it just changed. Even stuff with the home parts of it. Election.
With changing
that part of it settled. All coming out of that one office.
Steve?
Well, one thing Murphy brought up at the last meeting, that this issue was going to be on the June agenda. So it was incumbent upon the board members to do their own homework on what was going on over the last 30 days. So this shouldn't have been a surprise to anybody at this meeting. And I sat down one-on-one with both Jay, Kristen, and a few other people to find out, to educate myself what's going on. The deputy clerk is just there, is there as a backup. So if Kristen's not there, that's not a full-time position. And as evidenced by Kathy's doing payroll and finance, because if she just was a backup to Kristen on her statutory duties, she'd be sitting there twiddling her thumbs. So she was given an additional workload of doing all this payroll. So she should be moved over. And cross-training that's an efficiency that that we should definitely take advantage of, whether whoever it may be. There was, someone just went to a counties association meeting on clerks, on county clerks, and it was stated that there's not even a big Dane County, the county clerk for Dane County is not should not be a full-time position. But they do not.
Statutory duties.
Yeah, just
Yep.
the statutory duties that they have to perform, it does not require a full-time position. And to have two people as a full-time position. As an example, on the town level, we have a deputy clerk. She's trained. We end up having to use her probably 3-4 times a year. And she's just paid hourly. When she has to do work, she comes in, she works 3 hours, and she goes home, and we don't see her again. But she knows all the procedures, how to do everything. That is the role of a deputy clerk, not to have a full-time position. And we're fortunate to have Bree and Kurt come in. What I would like to know is, what are we, $18 million?
Yeah.
$18 million?
That's our total budget.
What's the annual budget for Lapino? And they have a full-time CPA. They keep themselves out of trouble. I don't know, but I bet it might not be 18. I bet it's not $18 million. And having 90 employees. And they're paying her a full-time CPA to keep everything straight. So I wholeheartedly agree with this change.
David, none.
I'm lost. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm lost with all this. You know, if I gotta vote on it, I'm gonna probably abstain because I don't really know what I'm voting for. And, you know, I'm just being honest. I'm not just gonna be the guy that gets everybody else puts their hand up. I'm not gonna put my hand up unless I don't vote.
You're honest. I like that. Roxanne?
Well, to answer your question, what are we voting for? We're voting for people to do our accounting correctly, according to general accounting standards. Have somebody qualified that we, as county board, can have something to do with putting in position. And I like Kristen as a person, but she's an elected official and her job could change. That person in that seat could change every 4 years or whatever. And I think we want to, as a board, have some input on the skills and qualifications of that person who gets in there. The next clerk may not be as great at the financial stuff as Kristen is today. Could be somebody who has no accounting knowledge at all. Then what are we going to do? So I'd rather have things set up so that we can pass our audit with flying colors instead of having material weaknesses and significant deficiencies like we have. Instead of having, you know, many handfuls of journal entries. So that's why this is an important move to keep our finances under control. It's not to get our finances under control. We've gotten them under control through the work of several CPAs on the board, through the work of Reed being on here full time, and now Kurt. So I think we're in good shape now. I'd like to keep getting these financial statements like we're getting so that we can see, hey, where are we at? As far as answering your question about Brandon not compensating enough, I think we've got vehicles to do that now through the work that we've done over the past couple of years. We've got Cottingham and Butler on board so that anytime we need a job graded, so that, you know, we can figure out what's the scale according to the communities around us. What should that pay scale be? We can do it. So we can look at that account in one position and have it graded out. So we're paying the proper rate. We did not have the deputy clerk graded, I don't think, in that wage study because part of the whole elected scenario. And those are what we said as a board, I don't know, every 4 years. And then cross-training, couldn't agree with you more, Brandon. And, you know, in many counties, and I learned this at the Counties Association 2 years ago, is many counties have the deputy clerks either combined or cross-training. So that they're all helping each other out. And Becky Holmes is a good example of this too. She's cross-trained, so she's helping in different areas. She's got 2 camps. So those are absolutely the kind of things we should be doing. So I'm in favor of this and hope that this can be something we do here in this county so we keep our financial records in the good shape that they're in.
Thank you. Tanner?
Couple things. I was one of the no votes in the finance committee as well. I want to start out, I'm not opposed to this idea. I was one from the start that was in favor of this. But a couple things. I voted no because I don't think we should move forward until we fund a deputy clerk. We have a hard enough time with elected officials as it is. We have a coroner, no coroner running. We're going to end up paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a medical examiner. It's going to come. We talked about it in the past. We had a register of deeds that we had a hell of a time filling. We're not going to go to the sheriff and tell him that the chief deputy should be part-time. We're not going to do that, nor should we do that with the deputy clerk. State statute position.
No.
The deputy clerk is not, but it is her obligation in state statute to have a deputy clerk that we have to fund. It is.
5923 sub 1 says the clerk can choose, may choose a deputy, right?
May is not a statutory
Shall
requirement.
But if that's her prerogative, we have to abide.
But it also in 5923 sub 1, it says that the county board determines the level at which the deputy clerk will be paid. So the county board determines how many hours that job is required.
Regardless,
And
I have the issue with targeting elected officials in this. That's my only hold up. I'm in favor of this.
Gary?
Well, I wasn't really too convinced on which way I wanted to go, but after listening to what everybody has said, I do believe that this resolution is in favor of the county. And that's what I've always done. I've always, when I voted at the town level, I've always seen what I felt is best for the county or for the town. I also feel I would vote for this because of the best for the county.
Okay, everybody had to say. There's a motion on the floor and there's a second. Stevie made the motion, Roxanne seconded it. Okay, all in favor?
I'm gonna do a roll. All right, we'll start at the top, Bernardi.
Oh.
Francis.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Stutz.
Yes.
Hager.
Yes.
Snyder.
No.
Neville.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Pinker.
Yes.
McNutt. Steve.
I think so.
It's up to you.
Have to say it affirmatively.
Yes, that was 10.
Yes. Lowry. Yes. Lucci.
Yes.
Hiller.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
So the yeses have it 10-2 with 1 abstention.
It passes. Okay, number 15, resolution 2026-4089 to MOU to contract to provide temporary facilities and maintenance services. I had this put on there, like I told you before, Billy Neesey had his rotator cuff surgery. He almost got it done, but he didn't. Sawyer, he's young and he needed a little help putting the roof on, putting the ceiling on the child support thing. So his Jerry Nacy used to work here. He said he would come in and he hired him for $30 an hour. He pays his own taxes. He does everything. And it's only for 20 hours or so. That's it. Read a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Roxanne, second. Seconded by Tanner, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, resolution 2026-4090, the approved road use permit to Stephanie and Mitchell Madela. So by Tanner,
Motion, we Was it?
Second, yeah, you did, right? Yeah. Who approved this? Nobody approved it. Well, Pat supported it, all in favor?
Okay.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 2026-4091, ordinance title 12, chapter 3, motorized trail. Motion.
On this one on the agenda, it has, are we on number 19?
We're on 17.
17, okay. No,
Yeah.
Health Department vehicle.
Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm on the wrong one.
17%.
Okay, we're doing that. Resolution 2026-4091, purchase of a new health department vehicle. Motion by Brandon,
I'll second it.
seconded by Steve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You know what you gotta do tomorrow. Okay. Resolution 2026-4092, authorization to increase the ACH transfer limit. That's so we can move more money to, what was it,
We have a
$250,000?
$200,000 transfer limit at Chippewa Valley State Bank. Every time we transfer funds, it costs, I think it's $10, $20, so it's not a lot of money, but if you have to, you wanted to transfer $1 million, so that'd be 10 times $10 is $100. We'd like to do it in 2 chunks and half a million or something.
Do you need a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Brandon. Seconded by Roy, all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2026-4093, ordinance title 12, chapter 3, motorized trail. Need a motion?
That was the one, I think the agenda's wrong. It's actually Title 10, Chapter 5 on the big paper here.
I think the agenda is correct.
Yeah.
Corp council had the wrong,
This one's wrong?
Corp council had the wrong.
Okay, well, one of them, they don't match. Okay, now, I'll go. Like that last, they don't match.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Tanner. Seconded by Scott. Do you want to say anything about this, Eric?
I will say, so this kind of goes to the point of Roxanne's comment earlier about ordinances not being updated. I think the last time the motorized ordinance, trail ordinance was updated was like 2004-ish. The old ordinance was kind of in story format. It made no reference to UTVs. It made no reference to
E-bikes.
E-bikes, things like that. And it was, as I say, it was in story format, so it was like reading a book. What we did is we updated it to reference state statute. So when state statute changes, our ordinances automatically change. We don't have to go back and do this all the time. And then the other thing that we added that was not in our original one is we actually added a penalty portion, because it said in the original ordinance that thou shall not do X, but there was no penalty if you did it. There is none. Otherwise, it's basically the same. There's no real changes to the ordinance, other than those few things.
Updated seriously.
Huh?
It's a serious update.
So it's really Title 12, yeah.
So the documentation that I have from the old one is Title 12, Chapter 3, correct?
So that's what it should say on the top.
Yeah, and we're gonna, between Kristen and I, we'll have to check that and double check it, because what you have in your hand came from Corp Council, and I think the agenda is the right ones.
So other than just the title and chapter, the content, none of that.
None of that, I've reviewed all that.
You got a motion in a second
To approve that.
by,
Tanner,
Tanner.
Tanner made the motion. We'll have a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. You know, I need a motion, closed session.
Make a motion, we go into closed session.
I need a motion to go in closed session by Brandon, seconded by.
Yep, I'll second it.
You got to do a roll call vote. Ready? Joe Bernardi? Jamie Francis? I say yes. Bill Stutz?
Stutz. Hager.
Yes.
Snyder. Yes. Neville.
Yes.
Hanson. Binko.
Yes.
McNutt.
Yes.
Flower. Gone. Luchin.
Yes.
Miller.
Yeah.
Kessler. Closed session. At 6:41 PM.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure.
One that I want to put a park plan for.
Jesus. Oh, you really want to put it in.
If you want to talk about it, come back. Okay.
My name is after that.
Yeah, free pass.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And this, I guess, but I can leave that on.
Oh, you can't.
Can't record it?
No, you
For
can't.
notes? Okay, I didn't know.
Those things, those things.
I'm not-
All by hand.
This is not my gig.